Clarence Thomas is back, and nobody knows why he was missing earlier this week. We go back to the Tuesday show. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, the oldest justice currently on the court, was missing with no explanation on Monday. There was no announcement that he had taken ill. There was no announcement for why he wasn't there. And now that he has returned, there is still no explanation, and speculation is running rampant. I'll tell you a few thoughts of what could be going on in a moment. Reuters says Justice Clarence Thomas returns to U.S. Supreme Court after absence. No explanation has been offered by the court. He's 75, the oldest and the longest serving member of the court. He is part of the 6-3 conservative majority and was appointed in 1991 by Bush. That's George H.W. Bush. A court spokesperson provided no information about his absence. The court often gives reasons, including illness, but no such explanation was given. So he's certainly alive, right? Would I put it past Republicans to try to hide the death of a right-wing justice so that Joe Biden wouldn't even know to appoint a replacement, and maybe Trump wins and appoints a replacement in 2025? I think that that's a little bit much. I do think Republicans would be fine hiding illness, I'm not saying he's ill, hiding cognitive decline. I'm not saying he's experiencing cognitive decline, but I think Republicans would be very comfortable. It would be within their ethical and moral framework that the greater good benefits from them being dishonest if such a justice were in a situation like that, in order to prevent pressure from being applied for retirement or to do their part to try to make it so that a Republican president rather than a Democratic president would get to replace Clarence Thomas. There's no doubt they would do that. Would they be willing to? And maybe more importantly, would they be able to get away with hiding the death of a conservative Supreme Court justice? I just don't think they would be able to get away with it. I don't think it would be possible to cover that up. And again, maybe I'm naive. I think that there would be someone on Clarence Thomas's staff who would know if he died and it was being covered up and would blow the whistle. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So what could this be about? It could be unexplained illness or illness that they don't want to talk about. It could be a family issue. It could be anything. We just don't know. In general, an explanation is given for the absences. No such explanation was given this time other than he is back. And even when he was gone, he was participating remotely and digitally by reading transcripts of testimony in the trials. I don't know what else we can say, but he is back. Certainly more scrutiny has already been paid to Clarence Thomas and his wife for political reasons and reasons of suspected corruption and malfeasance and impropriety. Even more attention is going to be paid now. And what we can absolutely know for sure, you can bet, I'm not a betting man, but you can bet your money that if in the 6.5 months that remain between now and the presidential election, if a vacancy were to open on the Supreme Court, Republicans would say it is too late in Joe Biden's presidential term to allow him to select a replacement. We must let the American people vote and have a say, even though, as I've said before, Joe Biden is president until late January of 2025, no matter who wins in November. And during that time, he gets to select Supreme Court nominees. So they will try it. I don't know if this is going to come up. We don't have an answer about Clarence Thomas, but we'll keep an eye on it. Let's take a very quick break. We're going to hear from a sponsor or two, unless, of course, you're a David Pakman Show member and get the commercial-free version of the show. And then we will be right back with so much more today. One of the most disturbing news stories of the last year is how the FBI, NSA, and other law enforcement and intelligence agencies are buying the internet browsing histories of millions of Americans. If they buy the data in bulk from data brokers who get it from internet service providers, they don't even need a search warrant, and the feds can know about everything you do online. That's why I use a service called Incogni. Our sponsor, Incogni, automatically goes to every major data broker and demands they remove your data from their records, which they are legally required to do if asked. They will even follow up with each data broker to make sure your data is really gone. They'll keep you updated every step of the way with progress. But using Incogni doesn't just keep your data safe from the government. Many other parties get your personal information from data brokers like hackers and spam callers, even ex-significant others or employers, ex-employers. My audience gets 60% off. Super easy. Go to incogni.com/Pacman. Use the code Pacman. The link is down below.